I am live. Hey everybody. In the garage. Figured I'd go a little early, goof around a little bit, and I have the door open, and it's not quite aimed. Well, you get it anyway. I got the door open, so it's going to be a little brighter in here than normal, thankfully, because it's beautiful out, nice and chilly. And just wanted to put some cars around the track while we oh, and I have a microphone. Hey, John. I have a microphone right next to the track, so that's the other channel that you hear is the car zooming by. So it might be that car. I can't change the volume on just that one, but right there, that's the that's the mic. Ow. This is a old Ninco Ford GT40. Hey guys, very cool. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Ninco Ford GT40, one of my favorites. And it's got an old, what's the NC2? It's an NC5 speeder. Not a, hey Clint, Patrick, Gotham, and the Fingers, John and John. Thanks, guys. Got my controller stations hooked up, as you guys probably saw. Got these from Slot Car Corner. Very grateful for them to have sent me these. They are the best. Look at this car. This is absolutely, except when it comes off, one of my favorite cars to drive. Oh, the bare bones Ninco Porsche. Just going to goof around a little bit before we get going. Happy Sabbath, exactly. I was, I'm helping my wife this year do Sunday school. I'm helping her just kind of keep an eye on the kids. Got a pretty good class, about 12 kids. And I wanted to just help her out and keep kids calm down, that sort of thing. Anyway, so yeah, spent the morning in Sunday school, chatting with some 3rd and 4th graders, good kids. And, oh, that is my alarm telling me to go live. Very cool. Yes. Go live, guys. Hey, Mac. Cheers. I do have a couple topics to talk about today. And I'll mention this. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Give it a like. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. 19 people on. Thanks. I'm going to mention this again a little bit later. But Kevin from Racetrack Scenics has special slot car news signs that he asked if he could do them. And I said, absolutely. He's selling them. I get like, I think it's like $1 or $2 off from it as well. I really appreciate him doing this. So if you want to check out those signs, whenever Kevin shows up, I think he already might be an admin in here. I'll make him an admin so he can link it. And if you want to get a sign, please. Actually, it's 2 signs for $9, something like that. And not sure how long that he's going to be making them. So they may be reasonably limited. But anyway, I'll mention it a little later because I just wanted to goof around with some cars a little bit more before we get going. This Ninco Porsche, this guy, rubber tires, NSR wheels, and NSR rubber. And this is there we go. That's about where that wants to focus. This is about an 18K blue motor. It's an H&R Hawk motor, and I tape the motor in, so it really doesn't do any flexing inside the chassis. And then there's some adapters in there to adapt the long can to the short can. And old oh man, that's a little dirty there. Clean that guy up with a little speed spit. SCX Pro wheels on the front, some 15 millimeter wheels, some very small diameter wheels to get the nose down, SCX Pro braid, as you've heard me talk about before. That is the best braid that, unfortunately. Yes, John. Hola, Adam. Gracias. I decided to do one because the assignments that I was going to be doing today got canceled. So I figured I would. And I do plan on doing some videos this week. My schedule for work has been really crazy. So I'm sorry I haven't been putting out the videos that I kind of had hoped and expected to be, because when I get home from work, I just, sometimes it's hard to get motivated to do more video. So anyway, I appreciate you guys bearing with me. And I do have a bunch of ideas for this week. And yeah, one of them, I wanted to do a live stream. I figured, if folks wanted to show up, they'd show up and we'd chat. And I forgot that light. There we go. Hey, even more light. Let's turn that down just a little tiny bit. There we go. Yeah, I got the door open over here. You can't see it. So, because it's nice and cool out, and I wanted to just goof and have a good time today. And I figured if people wanted to show up, I wanted to drive some cars, and I figured I might as well live stream anyway. So if you guys wanted to show up and chat, we'd do that. And I did write down some topics. Yes, this Ninco. Hey, Steve, cheers for showing up. I really appreciate it. This Ninco runs super smooth. This is, I believe, all NSR gearing, and it just meshes really, really well. We get this, and I do have a second microphone. I already mentioned this. I have a mic right next to the track, so you can kind of hear the car right in a second here, right there. You can hear the car maybe a little better. This Ninco, it's nice and stuck. It's got the little diameter, so there's probably 17 by 10s, I'm assuming, on this. And this has got rubber tires. A little speed spin on this guy to clean this off here. Haven't cleaned these tires in a long, long time. These tires are pre-glued on, and they're worn. I've raced this at my club a bunch, and the club I used to race with. I don't have the time anymore, unfortunately, to do to kind of go out of town, because it's an hour one way for me to go race with the guys, unfortunately. There we go. There's a little forward bite. This car is so forgiving, so well-mannered. Ha! As he comes off. And it's a real simple kind of a, like if a guy just got a Porsche, real Porsche, and didn't really have the money to do a real racing decoration on it. So I put red stripes. These red stripes are actually train decals. And I had some numbers, and then I had a little Porsche decal that you see here. It's a little bright, I know, guys. The Porsche decal that you see there. I had that, and it's a separate decal that I just float on top of the stripe. And it's just like a very basic livery, but I don't really like white usually as a rule on cars. For some reason, I just really love this car. Porsche, yeah, well, ich habe Deutsch im Gymnasium genommen für taken für 6 Jahre. That was really shitty German, I know, but I took German in high school, im Gymnasium in Universität. So this car is an MRRC, and now that I can talk about it, this is one of the Slot Car Corner sent me motors, prototype motors to test quite a while ago, and then they sent me some newer ones just to check to make sure that everything was kosher. And I really love these because these, and I can finally show you, this is one of the prototype motors. I had one also in my MRRC 910. also with the Sebring chassis. And so these are the, and this is, I know this is, oh, there we go. That's pretty good. These are the new motors that they are making now. And they're good, Charles. They're good. These are the motors that they're making now. This is one of the prototypes that they had sent me quite a while ago, and the motor's an absolute dream. And I had talked about this in my news a little while ago, that I feel like these motors really kind of gave me these cars back with the Sebring chassis and with the slim can motor. I'm so happy because this is like one of my favorite cars, and Slot Car Corner finally making the appropriate speed motor for little cars that have no room in them. I just love this car, and the Porsche 910 also with the Sebring chassis, and this gave you just the right motor, even if you turn the power down on the car. Like everything, it's all good now. It's all good. So I can't say enough about these motors, these Slot Car, or the Predator motors, I should say, not Slot Car Corner. You're going to be able to get these from other dealers, I believe, are going to sell these, but for now, for sure, it's Slot Car Corner and Cloverleaf. And I will be doing a giveaway. I'm not doing a giveaway today, but I will talk about that a little later on. But so this is one of the cars that I really feel like benefits from those nice, slow, very manageable motors. Yes, even if you can turn the power down, you get your car back, right? Because look at this Porsche. It again, he says as it lifts out, extolling the virtues of how great this is, and yet the damn car comes out anyway. It's just so drivable. It's so lovely, and you just enjoy the car. It doesn't need to go 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's a little Porsche, so it's got a character all its own. And I love the thing, and I'm very happy. I really need to get this so it doesn't lean. The problem with the Sebring chassis is the front axle. It's got all this play, so it wants to lean out. You got to get rid of that. Anyway, thank you very much to the guys that are making the Predator motors, because it puts a reasonable motor in the car, and you can enjoy the damn thing again. Speaking of reasonable, hey, Bill, thanks for showing up. Really appreciate it. I agree, John. Yes, the bandwidth, the power width, the power band, all of that is really, really nice on those motors. It's a high quality motor at not a really expensive price. So Bastos Camaro coming very soon from Scalextric. This is a prototype that I've had for quite a while, and it looks like in the photos that this car is getting the proper diameter tires. I'm very happy about that. It's getting a lot bulgier tires that it really, really. Hello, James. Okay, part number for the Predator, the slim can motor. It's a 15,000 RPM motor. It is PRD050-15. There you go. Can you read that? I got to get it right about there. There we go. There you go. You're welcome. Okay. So, Bastos Camaro. This is not the first. This will be, I guess, the second release of the later Z28 body. They really nailed this body. I think, a lot of you all have the silver car already, and I'm really happy that they've done such a good job with this car. I mean, there's a couple things here and there that are not quite right, but on balance, I'd say this is like a 90% car. And they got certain things absolutely perfectly, in my opinion. Or at least they got the spirit of the car, especially in the nose. And I've already talked about this several times, but the headlight bezels, the lower grille, I mean, it's flat, but it looks inset. And then the upper grille, the main grille, that whole nose is very distinctive if you've ever had a Camaro. And all of my friends had them. They, I had a 76 Camaro. This is a 78, 79, not quite an 80. 80, they changed the hood for the Z28 to the cowl induction, so the opening was in the back of the hood. But so this car really feels right to me. When I look at it, like, boom, it takes me back immediately to, when I was a teenager or when I was in college. So I'm just so happy that they've done such a nice job with this car. And the Bastos decoration on the car, I think, looks really, really nice. Make sure I get this up in the frame here. I'm really happy with it. I think they're doing a nice job. Yes, everybody, please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. From motor to motor. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Your dad had a 77 354 speed. I had a hey, Smart Race. Hey, Mark. I had a 76, which had a 305, and it had the turbo 350, but it was really nice because it had a nice gated shifter. So when you were street racing, not that I condone street racing, but I did it. When you were street racing, you could bang gears. You just went up and to the right, and you could bang gears all day long. It was really, really great. Yes, unexpected stream. I decided to live stream because I figured I would do some driving, some cars. And because that, I figured, well, if I'm going to be driving around some cars anyway, why not live stream just because? And for the folks that just came in, I have a second mic that I put right next to the track. So when the car is going around the track, hopefully you can hear a little bit. When the car is going around, you're not going to be able to hear the slot it, because this is maybe the quietest car of the year. Does that need to be a category for slot car of the year? Let's talk to Henry Wise about that. The car that is absolutely the smoothest, that might not be a bad idea, actually. The smoothest, and we could have a Box of Rocks award. No, it's a terrible idea. This is the smoothest, quietest car I may have ever heard. There is no problem with gear lash, with mesh, whatever you want to call it, on this car. This is basically right out of the box. Maybe just about the best running car. And boy, these tires stick. Zoom. Here, I'll stop talking for a second. Yeah, this car is so quiet, so smooth. Let's check it out against, I'm not comparing these two directly because they're very different cars, but here, let's do the silver car I've done a bunch of laps with. The McLaren. It's a little noisier. Well, it's definitely noisier. But I'm not saying it's noisy, because as you can probably hear from the mic, it's a pleasing kind of chatter. It's a pleasing kind of motor zip. But at the same time, it's definitely a little noisier. I don't have the lap timers up. I still have the app that I've downloaded. I just haven't done it. I'm going to be switching phones really soon. I got a 14 on the way, and I am going to be getting some lap timing going with that. In general, thoughts about lap timing. So Doppler effect. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Is the effect there? Can you hear it? I was hoping that it would add something, add the nice, add the sound of the car. Here, see if we can do it here. Add the sound of the car so you guys can hear it real well. I mean, that's nice and smooth. But listen to this. I mean, that's like non-existent. It's so quiet. It's incredible. Oh, there's my wife. She doesn't know. She doesn't want to come in and say hi. She's putting out the garbage, and I don't think she realized I had the door open. She doesn't like to be put on the spot. Anyway, this motor is absolutely so quiet. So the camera's pointing this way, so you can't see. Oh, okay. Or they can't see you, I mean. Okay. Yeah, okay. She doesn't want to be on camera. Yeah. It's so quiet and so smooth. I mean, like that's like, and the McLaren, like this is no slouch. This is one of the most beautiful, smooth, quiet. I mean, it sounds like good quality just when you're listening to it. Like immediately you think, holy shit, that sounds really nice, right? And then you put this thing on there and it's like a whole nother level of Jesus, that's quiet, right? I mean, what else can we put on there? Well, they're all kind of noisier. Well, I mean, the Ninco Porsche. Let's do that one next. These are NSR gears. I mean, that's got a little whine. But, I mean, it's kind of fine, you know? But you almost have to struggle to hear that. It is so quiet. This. It's so beautifully quiet. Anyway, very unscientific. I haven't been doing timing yet because timing is a relative thing. So I kind of don't think that timing in reviews is a great idea, and I'll tell you why. Because like what might be fast on my track, what might be fast from day to day might sound different, right? Or might be different, right? And I just, speed is a relative thing. But the one thing you can talk about is you can talk about the quality of the car. You can talk about the construction. You can talk about how it feels to you when you're driving it. That, I think, those kinds of things that are also much more subjective, really, like listening to the sound of these cars, like that, I feel has a little more value because, you know, like that's something that you can think about. That's kind of something people don't usually talk about, like kind of the overall feel of driving the car up being like kind of that, the hard thing to put your finger on. I know it's easier to engine noises are never quiet. Exactly, John. That's very cool. I like that. So, but the timing, right? Like, yes, we know that certain cars are going to be really, really fast. The difference between one car being fast and another car being a little bit faster, that's a very subjective thing. I don't know. I just haven't done timing yet, and it doesn't really feel like. The more I think about it, I mean, it's definitely important, but I just don't know that it's that important for me to do as a. Oh, here you go. Well, here you go. So this is after I've changed the motor, and I have the gear set where I think it needs to be. So, I mean, still pretty noisy, right? One thing we are going to talk about today: these tires. There's nothing wrong with these tires. First, let me start off with that. Meat grinder, exactly. Yeah, box of rocks. Yes, I know, Mark. I know. I totally agree. Many people have suggested this to me. I will start doing something like that. Absolutely. I just haven't yet. I agree about having an all-time top list like Top Gear, and it would be a fun thing. And absolutely, you're totally right. And yeah, I will start doing that. Just not yet at the moment. Um, Back to the tires on the Revo slot here. So the tires do stick nicely, right? Um, they are rubber. They are pretty easy to true, and they're they're perfectly fine. But they are the mold that they use for these. There's one piece is on one side and one piece is on another. See if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it on the front tires. You see how there's like a shiny spot down the front half of one of the tires? And I know there's a lot of folks out there that have these cars, so they know what I'm talking about. So there's like a half of the tire is like a little higher than the other half of the tire. Not a big fan of that. So what we have here from our friends at Quick Slicks is, let's get that so we can see. There we go. These are the replacement tires. These are silicone tires, so they're not really perfect for my track because most of the time I have rubber tires on here. But we are going to switch to the new interesting tire design or wheel design there. I do like these wheels. We are going to switch. Sorry for the loud cough there into the mic. To the latest Quick Slicks. Get these on the right way. And these are right out of the bag. This is not what you're supposed to do. You should sand the edge off of these. Get them so they're going to be nice and flat. But I am impetuous. I don't like to wait. I want my cake and I want it right now. These do definitely appear to be a little larger diameter. Very happy about that because these tires are not really as large a diameter as they should be. I know there's been a lot of discussion about some other things about the car, about the shape of the car. To me, the car looks okay. I'm not a huge, it's an Escort. So, to my eyes, well, I don't really know a lot about Escorts in general because it's a little British car. I'm not a huge fan of the Escort in real life. So, yeah. Old school. Very cool. Very cool. A lot of people have classes of these cars. Old school just commented about that. You can probably see in the replay. The replays are enabled of the chat. And a lot of clubs do have classes of these cars. I can see absolutely have at a club the value of having a class of these Revo cars. So you've got some more forward bite here. Oh, yeah. Ah, yes. Much better grip. Even with just, yeah, I can see it when it goes forward. It's definitely gripping better. Holy cow. Also, just having the slightly larger diameter tire on there lifts it up just a little bit. I think it definitely helps. It looks a lot better. The sidewall is just a little bit higher. Now this car will definitely pick up a little more speed as the mold edge wears off a little bit. If you want to sand these, you want to get any a little bit of rubber or silicone flash off the edge. Just a tiny bit on these, but nothing profoundly, nothing really to worry about. What I should say. Yeah, this is nice, much nicer. And this is still on 9 volts. I haven't changed the voltage because I don't need to. Yeah, got that by the mic there. Definitely nice little car, but as you hear, you know, I did change the gear, and it went from the 12 that came on it. I mean, that's greased. I have white silicone grease on there. Just noisy. It's unfortunate. I assume that I probably could do a little more adjustment, but I don't think it's going to be perfectly quiet. I'm kind of fine with that. I mean, you're not going to be like absolutely totally quiet ever. I think probably get a little more speed spit going here, clean off these tires, do some laps with the Fiat. Still painting a body. My projects that I started the other day haven't really progressed too much. Work just been kicking my butt the last week or so. Yeah. Yep. Handles like a Fiat. A little lifty. Little tippy. But I like it. Nice forward bite with these tires. When you accelerate, like there's a nice push forward. You know, definitely something to consider when you're getting cars is the mesh of the gears. That's one of the first things. Pretty good. Pretty good. Feels good. Nice and quiet. Let's hear how the Bastos sounds. Not bad. Do you have any? No, that gear is dry. So there you go. Okay, well, yeah, my bad on that one. That'd be a little quieter. Absolutely noisier. Here, let's just all listen again, shall we? Oh. Whoa, hey now. It took off. It was so eager to go. That's just so quiet. It's just absolutely incredible how quiet that is. No, the tape is just to hold down. Yeah, exactly. Hey, John. Yes, using my track. Well, so I thought that why I decided to live stream, and we got, holy shit, we got 75 people. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much for showing up. I really appreciate it. Good God. Please, everybody, if you like the stream, give it a thumbs up. It does make a big difference. It's not just like, oh, it's just one more click. It really does make a big difference. Yeah, so I thought I wanted to drive some cars around, and the assignments that I was going to do today got canceled because of the rain. Although it's not raining because I got the other garage door open. Hey Garth, cheers. Hey Double Snake, thanks, very cool. I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so my assignments that I was going to be doing this afternoon got canceled because we were supposed to get thunderstorms all day. We had a bunch of thunderstorms this morning. I'm in north central Pennsylvania. And so I had time, and I figured I'd live stream. There we go. And if people showed up, all that much better. So, did want to talk about something here. So, these are MRRC cars. I've never had this car out because my uncle had one of these. We used to drive it all the time. And this car is an absolute freaking handful because this is an MRRC Celica. Or, hey, Michael, no, we're not roasting here. It's nice and chilly here in Pennsylvania. It's upper 60s, maybe mid 60s, breezy and beautiful. This is an MRRC Celica, or as they say in England, I think Celica. I got this one, and I have this one, which is the GSR the magazine. There used to be a slot racing magazine called JSR, I believe. Julia Slot Racing. It's Spanish. I'm really shitty at pronouncing Spanish. I'm sorry. But so the body looks really great on this car. But yeah, I really do wish they'd come out with the street version of it. Exactly. This has a 35,000 or a 30,000 RPM motor in it, the red cam. It's an absolute freaking handful. This would be a great car to do a motor swap on. But we have the sideways version of this coming. So I'm very happy about that. I'm not selling these. I got these directly from the owner of MRRC at the time, John. I forget his last name. John died, unfortunately, but he gave me these. I think I met him at Toy Fair one year in Germany, and he gave me both of these cars, and yeah, means a lot to me. Big fan of Celica, and as you all know, anyway, we've been talking about JDM a lot. I got a question the other day, or maybe today, about NSR and kind of what cars to start with. So if you're going classics, I really like the 917s. The problem is, hey, Michael, cheers. On when the car meet will be. Oh, you mean when I do like the Cars and Coffee? No, I don't have a track yet to do anything with yet. So nothing. Or will people come to my house? I don't know about that. Not too many people, I think, probably would be willing to come and hang out. So if you're going to go NSR classics, I think the GT40 probably is a better way to go than the 917. The 917's definitely a little more tail happy. But I really like the body that they made. It's not, I mean, it's definitely got the nice proportions, because the 917s definitely have a nice round side to them. And I think that NSR did a pretty good job with these cars. They're awfully low, but I mean, that's what NSR does. I get that. As far as modern cars, it's hard not to suggest the McLarens. Obviously, you know, these guys are really high quality, really great running cars. If you compare these to the Mosler, though, I definitely think the Mosler's probably going to be faster, because it's just a world beater of a car. Personally, I would rather, because I don't really win much when I'm driving, I'd rather drive the McLaren all day long, because I just like the model of the McLaren better than the Mosler. I mean, the Mosler in real life is what I'm talking about. I'm not a huge fan of the Mosler in real life. I just don't think it's a terribly pretty looking car. So definitely, I would think, you know, if you really want a car that's going to do really well at the club, probably the Mosler is the way to go rather than the McLaren, maybe. But you definitely need to test that. I do think personally, I would go with the McLaren just for aesthetics. And classics, I would go with I might even go with the old bathtub here with the 9083. This is a really great running car. I would think you could really get this car to bomb around the track. I really like the short wheelbase on this. And yeah. Can't lock the thread. What? Hey, man, we got a bunch of people here. 80 people. Thank you very much, folks. Really appreciate you all showing up today. Oh, let's do the gear test on this one. Everybody listen. Hey. That's nice and quiet. Yeah. Loving that. That's probably second quietest. To the Slotted, which is definitely the hands down winner. Could have a little dB meter. Oh, that might actually be interesting to see which car is the absolute quietest. So far, the Slotted is not even close to anybody. It's worlds quieter in pretty much anything. This is one of the 86 through 89, as you all know. The NSR F1s. These cars are joy. They're not hard to just take out of the box and drive, and it's a nice, it's a pleasurable experience. They're so quiet. They're so smooth. Don't really take much tuning. And let's get that count up. Yeah, please, guys, if you like the stream, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. It definitely helps the views. It helps people find the channel overall. And honestly, if you think of something that you'd like me to do better, I'm all ears within reason. I got no problem discussing things that, you know, if I'm not doing a good job doing something, let me know. If you want to see me change something, let me know. I am always open to suggestions, whether I do them or not. I mean, you never know. Okay, since we have 78 people, I was racing and my car fell into the lake. I made under the bridge. The motor is fried. Any idea who I can call for a fix? No. Do you have any Ninco Classics to run? I do have Ninco Classics. My Ninco Classic that I have is inside, though. And I'm not 100% sure where it is, so I don't want to go grab it. I have a 356 Porsche that is absolutely one of my favorite cars, and I love driving it every single time I can. Okay, we're gonna recap just a tiny little bit. Time to get a new motor. Yeah, there's a lot of motors out there that are good, reasonably priced motors. Tires for the new Revo Classics. So Quick Slicks has made tires for these guys, RS145, and there are firm and extra firm. There you go. There's the part number. Hopefully you can see that. These fit all of the Classics, I believe. These fit the Escort. This is obviously an Escort. They fit the BMW 2002, and they fit the Alpha. So you can get those now from Slot Car Corner and from Cloverleaf. And I believe they're going to be sending these out to dealers as well in a little while. I have not tried the F1 Senna Scalextric. That's also back in my room, and I don't exactly know where it is to lay my hands on, but I will do kind of a late night lapse with that as well. Sorry, I'm looking at the computer here. I don't mean to not be looking at you guys. So I will be doing a video about that. I have to glue the guy back in, or kind of shove the guy back in, because as you saw, the driver on Senna came out of the car. That's probably not a great way to put that. Anyway, so that was the first note. I wanted to make note about the new Quick Slicks for the new Revo Classics. Okay. So Kevin from Racetrack Scenics. I just controllers, yeah. Who is my favorite professional slot racer? There aren't too many that get paid to do this. One of my favorite, I have friends that have won multiple national championships. I've only won 2 national championships, and they were team championships. I raced with Mark Azaraga. He was just about, he's like one of the most dominant guys in the recent past from the Ninco days. Kurt Moser and a bunch of the guys down in Georgia. The Cloverleaf guys are good. Slot Car Corner guys are good. There's a bunch of guys from Chicago. There's a lot of good slot car drivers. Anyway, yes, so I just posted on my own Facebook page, and if you look at the Racetrack Scenics Facebook page, there are Slot Car News signs that Kevin's selling. I do get a little bit of a cut on this. He and I he offered to sell some of these, and I gave him permission to use my logo, the Slot Car News logo. on the signs. So I think he's selling a pair of signs for like $9 and or $10. I'm not exactly sure. Look at his page. Yeah, Kurt Moser, exactly. Moser. Yeah, I know what you meant, John. Great guy, absolutely great guy. So look at the Racetrack Scenics page. He's got some beautiful billboards, as John points out. He's got some great signs that he's making these days. He's got some absolutely incredible other scenery, and he's got some little special slot car news signs. They're going to be a reasonably limited run. And if you want to support the stream, that's a good way to do it. You want to support me, that's a great way to do it. He's making these and shipping them out, and this is kind of a test to see, if people want them. So if you do want them, please go to racetrackscenics.com and pick up a pair of them. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Also, he has some really great. I'm doing some work on some photos for him. He's going to be getting some distribution soon, and I've been working on some of his photos to make them nice and clear and nice and sharp and nice and bright and colorful to help him. Yes. So, hey, Vin, I really appreciate it. Yes. So if you want, so here actually on my channel, there are, I don't think it's visible though. Wait, let me go to, where is the store? Forgive me, guys. Just give me a second here. See if I can do this. Go to my channel and hold on here. Let me stop this. Yes, go select our new store. So here's like the basic tee. There's why can't because it's too big. Hold on here. Slot car news. There we go. See if hey Reese, cheers. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. There you go, guys. So there is there's a link. What tow company do I use? You got your stuff. I don't know. I don't know what tow company I use. Hey, Michael, thanks. So there you go. So there's link to, I think, link to my store. There are different colors of shirts there. There's a basic t-shirt there. There's mugs, there's stickers, and yeah, there you go. I really appreciate it. So what else do we have here? Okay, so I am going to be doing, I mentioned a couple times now, I'm going to mention again, this is a box that I've gotten a bunch of motors from Predator, the guys at Predator, Slot Car Corner, and Cloverleaf. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of motors here. I have a bunch of the slim can motor. So this is the 15,000 RPM motor. That's, it's a slim can. You should know what a slim can motor is. If you follow me here, you probably do know what a slim can motor is. And then I have three of the big block motors that I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to be doing a special video about this giveaway. Basically, what it'll be is share the video on some kind of social media and/or comment in the comments under the video. This is not this video. It's a special video I'm going to do. I probably actually will shoot it today while I'm just kind of hanging out here. So when you see that video pop up about the Predator motor giveaway, share that on YouTube or share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, and I'm sure I'll see it. And I'm going to randomly pick someone that shares the video to win. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of motors. So there's what, 7 motors in there. So I'll give them to 7 different people. And planning on going pro in the slot scene. There isn't much. There's no one that really gets paid for doing slot racing here in the U.S. So no, I'm not going to be going pro. So I'm going to be giving away the motors. Going to be giving away 7 motors. Just watch for the video and share it. And there you go. What else? Okay. So on a little more serious note, we're nearly at an hour here, and I'm probably going to call it in a little bit. Not just yet. Not just yet. I was thinking today, I was listening to one of the YouTubers that I really like, and the guy talks about camera stuff. And oh, my accident in England. Yeah, I'm okay now. I had an accident when I got the day after I got back from England. I broke my leg, and I'm fine now. Yeah. So I was thinking about this when I watched this YouTuber today talk about companies taking for granted the likes of their consumers, and I really think that one thing we're really going to see in the next, couple of years here is there's definitely definitely going to be some issues because the pricing is just really, really high on some of the brands now. I'm not going to single out any brand or two, but I really think that companies need to really, and all of the brands really need to engage with their consumers even more. I think people really need to do right by their customers. The companies, they need to really engage with them. They need to ask what their likes are for everything from technical to finish on the cars to maybe even packaging. Now I know pricing is always something that people complain about, but there's not really kind of a lot people can do about that. Time to scratch build. Hey, Travis, cheers. I mean, you're not wrong, John, about scratch building, but not everybody can scratch build. And that's okay. I mean, I enjoy building stuff myself. I tend not to finish as many projects as I start. I think that's probably true for a lot of folks. But hey, Robert, cheers. Hey, Jono, thanks for showing up. I really think it's time for all the brands, not just the toy brands, not just the hobby brands. They need to really pull their fans even closer. I think they really need to start absolutely catering. Not catering, that's the wrong word, because companies need to make money. They need to run the business kind of how they need to run the business. But at the same time, they really all the companies need to absolutely take seriously the love that their fans have for their brand. And there's ways of, for a company to still be kind of true to themselves and do the products the way they want to do them, but still, make accommodations here and there to what the fans really, really want and what they really demand. I mean, there's definitely a lot of room, I think, and this could be from a product point of view, technical point of view, like a product choice as far as molds or decorations, or a product technical point of view, or even like point of sale marketing, like I'm sitting next to my track. Cheers, Michael. Cheers. I really appreciate that, Michael. I don't take any of this for granted. I really don't. So the fact that you think that really does mean quite a bit to me. So companies that make, like, this is track skirt that I got when I worked for Carrera, right? And at the time, I had several hundred feet of this stuff. I would give it away pretty much all the time, and I give away signs and banners and things. And I mean, I have a lot of, like point of sale stuff, like, you see the Airfix thing down there. I think companies need to do a better job of getting merch out there. T-shirts. I mean, like, I was fortunate. Sorry about the mic rumble there. I was fortunate. SRC gave me this shirt just kind of out of the blue. And I mean, it's just a shirt, right? But I think it's really cool because as a fan of SRC, I think it was neat that they had a shirt that they could give me. I would have bought one, even if it was just a brand logo that said SRC on it. I would buy one. I think, it's like I have my merch store, which, there you go. There's the merch store. Everyone's got to go a little further to engage with their fans. Companies need to do behind the scenes photos of, hey, we're doing testing today. Here's like a car all torn apart. I've suggested this to some friends in the business. At the moment, they haven't really taken me up on it, but I think, hey, Richard, cheers. Thanks for showing up. Patrick Harper says, I hear you, Dave, 120 for the new Thunderslot Mustang. Yikes. I love Thunderslot, but they're getting dang Gina. I think, yes, exactly, John. Throw some stickers in the packaging. I mean, we would do that when I worked at Carrera. We would send stickers out to dealers all the time. Any kind of it's called point of sale material. I really absolutely think that, hey, Tommy, cheers. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. 83 people. Please, guys, hit the like button if you're so moved. And if you think I'm not doing something right, tell me what, and I'll be happy to entertain some changes. I'll listen. I'll promise that. As we're moving into this era where cars are getting increasingly more expensive, people, I think, are really looking for a reason to buy a car, right? So is there a reason to buy a Revo slot car? Well, if you really like an Escort, if you really like the way Revo slot do their chassis, I mean, it's definitely a niche car. You pay a lot for the car, but I mean, probably got something in there. I don't know what. A little tire dirt after licking all those tires. Revo slot cars are good cars. They're worth the money, and they're high quality. And if you're into the cars that they sell, they're great cars to buy. They are expensive, but at the same time, like an NSR car, they make some great running cars. They're nice and quiet, nice and smooth. They make, in this case, especially unique mold and liveries on cars. Hard to argue that they're not worth it. They're excellent running cars. You get a lot of bang for your buck. They're nice and smooth, nice and fast. When you're buying into the tire licker, absolutely. Lick them tires for speed. The cars they're worth it, right? Yes, they're expensive, but the quality is there. You're not feeling like you bought a car and you got to completely rebuild the thing. You absolutely do not. With the higher end cars, Slotted also. We'll throw Slotted in here. You're paying for these cars. Although, excuse me, guys. And yeah, water on the track, I know. Slotted stuff is really, I mean, it's really not all that expensive. And the quality is there. Absolutely great ecosystem for parts, just like NSR, just like Revo Slot, just like BRM, just like Scale Auto. Scale Auto is another great one. Going to be doing a little more talking about Scale Auto stuff, especially the 1/32 scale stuff here on the channel soon. And you can't argue that this car is not worth it. I mean, maybe this car specifically doesn't do anything for you, and you think, well, for me, Dave, this isn't a great car. I don't think it's really anything interesting. Yes, I still have the COVID. That's still the COVID cough going on. I'm not positive anymore, but I've had a lot of breathing issues, so it's going to take a couple months for me to get back to normal, unfortunately. This car, you buy in with the hobbyist brands, the whole ecosystem, right? It's quality beginning to end. Yes, you're paying between $60 and over $100 for a car. Every single one of them is worth it for different reasons. None of them are bad. You might not like a specific car here and there that people make, but they're all worth the money, even though they're pretty expensive. $100 for a car is not cheap, but you can't go wrong because the quality is there. You're going to get a good racing experience, right? So now you get to the Homeset brand of folks, and I don't even have a Carrera out here. I have a Ninco, but they're basically dead. Yeah, I'm staying 6 feet away from the little guys. I'm not making anybody sick. Don't worry. Sorry, guys. When you're starting to get $65, $60 for, this car is beautiful. I'm not knocking Scalextric for that. They do a nice job on cars, especially this car. I'd say this is a prototype. They did a nice job with this car getting the look of the car right. If you're a fan of Camaro, and I am, my first car was a 76. This is like a 77, 78, 79. They really nailed the car. It's expensive, right? And the thing is, when you really think about like buying into the system of one company or not, that's really what you really got to consider is, it's not so much that the car costs a lot of money. It's what's behind it after that, right? Are you getting essentially, and I don't want to pick up this car because I don't want to be seen as dumping on the Homeset brands, but a Homeset brand, any of them, they don't have parts for warranty, for replacement, and that's not necessarily like a hop up part to make it go faster. I don't think, strictly speaking, is necessary as such, because if you're someone that does want to make them go faster, where you can get those parts, right? So I'm talking about just, like comparing apples to apples here. If you're just buying, if you have a choice between this car and this car, and I'm not talking about speed, I'm not talking about the performance of the car, I'm just talking strictly about like if something happens with one of these cars, which car do we know we can get a chassis for? Which car do we know we can get a chassis for? Which car do we know we can get a body for? Replacement glass, replacement tires, something that wears out all the time, right? Replacement motor, even easily. You can get braids for both. But so if you're strictly talking about buying into a system, buying into a brand to love, because that's really what this is about, right? This is about putting a lot of money into a car that, you're buying in, you're investing your emotions, and because nothing is more make you unhappy than a car you just spent money on not running. You're going to be really pissed about that, right? So which car do you really want? Hey, Canyon, cheers. Which system would you buy into? Because you can get replacement tires for this guy. You can get everything replacement for this guy. Yes, it costs about the same. And I'm not talking about performance. I'm just simply talking about the basics. The ground floor of expectations for these cars is, if something happens to it, can I fix it? And that's what I think a lot of ideal price point. I'll get to that, John. I'll get to that. That's what I think. That's where I think a lot of companies. The other thing is, you know, the hobbyist companies do a good job of this. They charge a little more. They have parts. So when you're buying into the companies, you have that backup for the parts, right? So, you know, if you've invested money in these cars, you feel like they have your back. And I think that's where companies going forward need to really, really think hard about having their customers' backs. Can you get replacement parts for these when something breaks, when something basic breaks, when a guide breaks, if a chassis breaks, if tires wear out? Tires wear out. If you can't get tires for a company's car, it's getting increasingly more difficult to suggest that you buy that car if you're, I mean, in a position like me, but even just like talking on a message board, you know, it doesn't feel like the companies, a lot of them have our back now as people that want to love them. You know, we want to love all of the cars. And I think that's where people get so upset with the companies is like, okay, well, you know, I really like the Camaro, but I feel like the company isn't standing behind it by giving me the replacement parts. So it feels like it's almost a disposable car. That's not a great feeling, guys. And I think as we're getting more and more expensive in cars, and I'll talk about price point here in a second, I think, you know, we want to feel, hobbyists, by the way, which are the market that is the low-hanging fruit for the slot car companies. Every company needs to have outreach, and not many of them do, to the hobbyist end of the market, because we are the people most likely to want to buy slot cars on a regular basis. Not all of them believe that. I don't see, and I made this case to every single company I've worked for. It's incredibly frustrating to hear. Okay, so price point. I think, let me take a drink here. Let me ruminate about this for a second. I already know what I'm going to say. So, cheers, Jeffrey. Sorry there's no HO chat. Price point in a second. I don't chat about HO not because I don't like it. I don't do it personally, and I haven't done it personally since I was a little kid. So I don't want to talk about HO because I don't want to do it shitty and not give you the right information, not like be able to speak about it personally, because it won't come off as authentic, because it's not something I do personally. It's not that I don't think it's cool, and it's not that I don't think, you know, people can't enjoy it and shouldn't enjoy it, and there's nothing bad about it. And I kind of get grief from the HO guys. Well, why don't you talk about HO? Because I don't feel like I could add much to the discussion. So anyway, price point. I think that somewhere around $60 is a reasonable price for $60 to $70. How do I want to put this? See, the problem is there's a case to be made for a number of different price points. Scalextric has the Start series of cars that they can sell for about $25 retail, $25 retail. An unpainted car with one-piece body shell, maybe the wing is detachable, rubber tires, fairly, you know, more inexpensive magnet, basic motor, no lights, no real guts, no interior. I think there's a real good case to be made for a $25 car. I think what you will see in the next probably year to year and a half is a number of companies starting to make, I think you're going to see more lower price cars is what I'm trying to say. I think now, will they be as low as that? I I couldn't tell you. I really do think that there's a good case to be made for having more lower price cars in the market. And I think going forward, you will see more lower end price point cars coming out from companies that you wouldn't expect. Polycar Subarus, as Robert points out, those cars were supposed to have been about 30 euros. That's about what Maurizio wanted to sell them for. And I think it was about 30, pretty sure it was about 30 euro. They got priced too high, basically. Those should have been much more reasonably priced cars. They are good cars. They are basic cars meant to be a great starter place for kids. Some of the guys, Gary and those guys from Western PA, they race those cars pretty regularly at a club. Any car can be raced. So I think there's a opening price somewhere around $25 to $30-ish that I think needs to be there needs to be more starter cars for kids in 1/32 scale. We're talking about 1/32 scale here, guys. Sorry, my phone just beeped there. I think there's a good point to be made for that. I really do think that home set cars, I mean, it's hard for me to kind of tell people what to sell the stuff for, because especially like the hobbyist brands, I mean, some of the stuff is assembled by hand. Like the NSR stuff is assembled by hand. That price means that, that cost means that they're going to be a little more money. I think the cars are worth, $80, $70. You're going to buy fewer of them, but you get more value out of the car because the car is nicer quality, quite frankly. And you're never going to feel like, you spent your money wrong by buying any NSR or any slotted or any, Revo slot or BRM or Scale Auto or, whoever else is there in the hobby area. The home set stuff, it's got to go eat Chinese. Hello, yes, please. Yes, so Scalextric does have kind of two tiers of pricing. They have the start cars, which are somewhere around $30 US, and then they have regular prices of cars, which are essentially double that now. It's hard to argue, between $40 and $65 for a home set car. That's a pretty drastic range, considering what you get, which is, once you buy a car, there's not much behind it for support. There's no parts. Like I talked about before, you're not buying into a system. You're almost buying, and I think Robert Bernhardt was the one talking about this fairly recently, you're almost buying a disposable car. I really hate to think of them that way, but it's really time to, I don't want to say call people out, but basically acknowledge that that's the case. Let's say that. You got to admit that when you have these starter cars, these home set cars, if there's nothing behind them, if there's no parts, how can you argue that you're buying into a system? You're buying into a disposable item, because once it breaks, what do? You throw it away, buy another one. That's not a way to get people and keep people in the hobby. It just isn't. And it's kind of antithetical to how the home set companies look at themselves. They should be arguably the ones that should be giving you a couple packs of extra tires, giving you an extra motor here and there, or having them available cheaply, $10 for a motor. They give you braid, which is great. They give you guide blades, which is great. But tires just wear out. They need to be keeping people racing their cars, playing with their cars, not racing even, just playing with their cars. And they're not doing that. The hobbyist brands, absolutely. And I'm sorry, I'm not looking at chat, but you got me going on a rant here, guys. The hobbyist brands, they stand behind their products. And we know that, and we appreciate that, and we pay a little more for their cars because we know that they got our backs, right? If you wear out tires, how many different freaking tires do you want from Slotted or NSR or Scale Auto or Revo Slot or whoever? There's like, they're there for us. And at the beginning level, at the opening price points, it's like they're all about the initial sale, and then there's just not much after that. And it's all well and good, if you have customer support in a country where you can send people, the whole car if a car breaks, or tires, just in a bag. But that's not really how to go about, making a sustainable business. It's just not. And as prices go up, and I make the decisions, even though I'll be honest, I get a lot of free cars. I'm not gonna deny that. It would be disingenuous for me to say that, but believe me, I'm keenly aware of the prices of cars, and I don't ask for a lot of free stuff. I ask for certain cars, and then stuff just gets sent to me, which is fine. But it's hard to argue that, as prices on the stuff continue to rise, that the consumer stuff is a good value, that the opening price point stuff is a good value. Because if you break it, what do? You chuck it. You can't fix it. You can't even replace tires. That's a really, really sad state of affairs. Yes. So Fast Sports makes a good point, John Kitt. The best era for slot cars is right now. You're absolutely right. We have more better quality, more high quality, excellently priced. We have a really nice range of slot cars available. The quality hasn't ever been better. The molds haven't ever been better. The paint finish hasn't ever been better. The machining on gears and everything about the cars hasn't ever been better. We are spoiled with quality. John is absolutely right. We have so much available to us now. We have so many choices, and consumers are putting their money where I think it deserves to be put, which is probably after you get your basic starter stuff going. You move to the hobby brands fairly quickly because they have your back with replacement parts. And I think John's absolutely right. You all should be following Fast Sports as well here on YouTube. The quality is absolutely incredible. Philip Bender is exactly right. That's not a hobby, disposable. Hey, Michael McKinney says, Lexan buys and sponge tires are my thing. Then you enjoy that. They're not my thing, but if that makes you smile, who am I to tell you not to enjoy it? That's what people get all upset with me. Oh, you don't cover any of the commercial track stuff. You must hate it. I just don't want to do it myself. I don't like spinach. I don't eat spinach. I don't tell someone they can't eat spinach. Enjoy the spinach, whatever your spinach is. Have fun, guys. Just don't make me eat something I don't want to. Anyway, so if you like it, you enjoy it. If you like HO, if you like 124 commercial track or Homestead or 143rd, if you like 132nd scale, I don't give a shit. Just have fun with it. Be passionate about it. Share pictures on Travis's board, on that slot car group, on Home Racing World. Those are two of the boards that I'm personally involved with. And, please share photos of whatever it is that you're passionate about. People will respond to your love of what you're doing and what you're enjoying. Have I ever tried fresh spinach? Yes, Philip, I have. And I really kind of do like fresh spinach. I'll just use that probably as a really bad example. I don't really like cooked spinach, though. I mean, it's a little slimy, a little mushy. I mean, who really wants that? Anyway, you feel triggered. Just kidding. That's okay. Kale is really good, but I'd rather eat dirt. Yeah, it's really good for you. It just tastes like garbage. Even fried kale chips. Now look at me. I've gotten some comments from someone that's not appreciative of my shape. They were making fun of me and in my comments, but whatever. I'm a lumpy guy. I know. Just keep it to yourself. I'm an eater. I'll try any kind of chips. I tried kale chips. They're effing disgusting. No thanks. Anyway, guys, that is my kale tastes like crap. I don't miss many meals. Hey, Jeff, I'm gonna go not miss a meal right now because it's 5 o'clock here on the East Coast. This is my buy me a coffee. Why do I put that in there? Because taking time out of my day, doing the videos. Yes, I am sponsored by LEB, but there's a lot of things connected to the hobby that I do. It takes about 12 hours a week now to put together slot car news. So the buy me a coffee is the way you all sending me a small token of appreciation. For as little as $5, you can send me a tip. I get almost all of that, which is great. It's better than through PayPal. And I really appreciate it. And I mean, you don't have to send me a tip, but it really helps. I mean, it absolutely helps motivate me for sure. I really appreciate it. Yes. Pioneer. Yes. I am going to do a video. That was the other thing. I'm going to do a video and I talk about Pioneer, the Mustang, and I talk about the Scalextric Mustang. And that was kind of where I was going with a lot of this, with the parts, because Pioneer, who is more of a home set brand, with a flat chassis and stuff like that, they have all kinds of parts, and the prices are about the same now. So anyway, that goes back to that. 88 people, 72 likes. Thanks you all very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, super chats. Yeah, Philip. That's why the buy me a coffee thing. It's a good return. It's very low fees. So it really means a lot to me. And again, you don't have to tip. Please don't feel like you have to. If you can, it is absolutely appreciated. And yeah, just gets me a little motivated. Marty, you need to try Pioneer. Trust me on this. Just buy a Pioneer. I like the Mustangs personally, even though I'm not a huge fan of Mustang. Try a Pioneer. They're absolutely worth it. Quality is really, really nice. And yeah, try a Pioneer, Marty. There you go, guys. Really means a lot. Thanks for the tips. Buy me a coffee. I saw someone else just sent me one. COVID sucks. I'm not COVID positive anymore. Again, I appreciate it. Cheers, guys. Thanks for stopping by. And hopefully another stream next week. See you all again soon.